Jonathan. I know that ServiceNow has been right smack in the middle of a lot of these efforts that have been described by the various CIOs and deputy CIOs. Tell us about the accomplishments from the ServiceNow perspective and what you're seeing across there in regards to whether it's Afghan COVID or anything else.
Sure. Well, thanks, Luke. Appreciate being here. And you're right. We're playing a role across government in these big, complicated initiatives that really require a whole of government approach, which is a place where a tool like ServiceNow that connects people and things and systems and data really plays an important role. But what I want to talk about builds on what Kevin just was describing, this process of getting people back into an office setting. The future of work is going to be hybrid. I think we've all, sort of agreed to that. But getting people in safely is a big deal, and it was easy to send everybody home. It's a lot harder to bring people back, as we've said in the past. And ServiceNow has been very focused on this across government, working with a number of agencies around concepts of safe workplaces, from seemingly simple things like an employee health screening or managing PPE at different locations to more complex capabilities around reserving desk space in a new hoteling concept within an organization, or which sets you up for contact tracing if someone comes into the office and ends up unfortunately becoming ill. But where we focused a lot of time and attention over the past several months is on this vaccination status tracking that Kevin was just talking about. We weren't specifically working with Kevin and his team. We worked with many agencies, and I think over 300,000 federal employees, used ServiceNow as they uploaded their vaccination cards and provided information to their agencies about their vaccination status or the requirement for some kind of exception. And that was a really big endeavor for whole of the government, and it really, I think, demonstrated the need to be able to shift very quickly, to have platforms like ServiceNow that support those quick changes. When the guidance came out that federal agency employees were going to have to be fully vaccinated, it was a little unclear how that information was going to be tracked. And as those requirements evolved, and there was this recognition you have to upload your vaccine card, and it was no longer going to be an attestation, and there was no testing option. We really saw agencies have to pivot, very quickly, as Kevin was describing it. It's a seemingly simple workflow, but oftentimes the devil's in the details, with these things. So how did you manage the vaccination process and the review? Was something that ServiceNow was talking to 10, 15 agencies at a time about these concepts, so we could build a vaccination status application that they all could use with very similar requirements. They had some capability that everybody needed, and also the ability to tailor it a little bit on a per agency basis. And I have to give a lot of credit to the CIO Council, Maria Rowe and a few others, who helped bring us together as a federal IT community, so we could have our team, our ServiceNow team, and our engineers talking to several CIOs, several leaders inside these agencies that were doing this work, so we could solve these problems together for everyone who wanted to use our application. And again, we were serving over 300,000 feds at this point, so pretty large number relative to the population. And we found that for the most part, we had a few approaches, for this. We had some places that wanted to build custom applications or develop a unique workflow on the ServiceNow platform. But the majority of agencies we work with use the applications that we built, and they use them very successfully. And those applications are continuing to be updated and improved. And we're now working with third parties to use AI ML techniques to validate that the cards that were uploaded are really cards. We're working with third parties to validate the QR codes that some agency employees are uploading because they don't want to share personal information through this process. So we're continuing to make this vaccination status process better, because these are requirements that, aren't going to go away necessarily. While we've gone through the initial upload and verification at most agencies, the need to supply a vaccination card or prove your vaccination status is going to be a requirement that has to tie into onboarding. It's potential for booster shots to become a requirement for all employees. That becomes part of the definition of fully vaccinated. So we'll have to go through this process again, and we may have to go through it multiple times. So these are really important capabilities for agencies to be very quickly assess the status of their workforce, to bring on new employees, and to do it safely and securely. We fully expect a lot of people to be back in their offices at some point in calendar year 22. It's coming, and we want to do it in a way that positions federal employees to do their best work, to feel safe in their workspace, so they can be engaged in their mission, do the hard work of the federal government, to do the big things that we've heard all of our colleagues on this program talk about so far.